provided by Thomas Allgeier and Fredis, based on the most relevant posts on LinkedIn about channel marketing in CW 2728. Fredis is a B2B market research company working with enterprises to optimize their campaigns with account and executive insights far beyond AI. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at the top channel marketing trends, the ones that really stood out across LinkedIn in calendar weeks 27 and 28.
Yeah, we've basically distilled the key insights and, the strategic shifts that are really shaping how B2B companies are tackling partner ecosystems right now, things like GTM strategies, monetization. This deep dive should give you a quick, pretty essential understanding of what truly matters in the channel space, hopefully help you stay ahead.
Okay, so let's jump right in. If we're thinking about scaling channel marketing, where do we start? Our sources, well, they consistently point to technology and tools. But it feels like it's not just about having tools anymore. One thing that struck me was just how much AI is woven into, well, almost everything. How's it changing the game for partner ecosystems?
That's a great starting point, and it really defines our first theme, partner technology and tools. Manisha Chaudhary, for instance, she pointed out how AI-powered PRM platforms are, well, revolutionizing partner management. The real game changer isn't just, basic automation. It's the predictive insights, the smart content recommendations, the workflow automation. Suddenly, you can see which partners might succeed or who needs help.
Right.
It shifts things from reactive firefighting to being much more proactive.
That proactive piece makes so much sense. It's really about getting ahead of issues, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what about the flip side? What happens when the tech isn't quite right? Or maybe it's just a mess.
Well, Kyle E. painted a pretty vivid picture there, maybe a little too relatable for some. He described disconnected partner tech stacks as, and I quote, the digital equivalent of a teenager's bedroom. Chaotic, hindering real growth. He points out the usual suspects. Manual work creeping in everywhere, no clear attribution, a terrible user experience for partners, data quality just going down the drain. It really makes you ask, if your partner data is scattered across who knows how many spreadsheets and old PRMs, how can you possibly scale effectively?
Yeah, that messy bedroom analogy.
Yeah.
It's a bit close to home sometimes. So beyond just tidying up, what's the path to a more effective tech stack? George Vitko really hammered this home strategy isn't enough. You need the right tools. He even shared, I think it was 20 AI tools, covering everything from outreach, like using Clay and SmartLead, right through to CRM and co-selling ops with platforms like Crossbeam and Workspan.
Exactly. And it's not just about buying a bunch of tools, right? It's using them strategically. Rachel Colley emphasized that partner programs scale on systems, not just goodwill. She's a big advocate for documented onboarding, defined co-sell plays, real cross-functional alignment, all underpinned by the right tech, including AI. It's that whole system view that enables scaling.
Yeah, it feels like a definite shift from just having tools to having an integrated smart system. Amber Armstrong over at Salesforce highlighted their partner cloud as an example of this. Building a scalable, secure ecosystem backed by CRM, it improves the customer experience, gives sales leaders visibility, and lets partners truly act like an extension of your own team.
Okay, so you've got the tech sorted, hopefully not looking like a teenager's room anymore. What's next for partner success?
Our sources are really showing a big shift in thinking around partner enablement and activation. It's moving away from just, ad hoc onboarding to something much more structured and, frankly, more impactful.
Right. Teresa Cargill put us really well. She said, forget static playbooks. Strengthening partner performance needs intentional coaching, clear GTM alignment, and systems built on trust. It's about building something partners can actually, believe in and use effectively. And Elena Ravinskaya pointed out a common pain point. Programs struggling with pipeline, unclear strategy, weak enablement. Her suggestion was pretty interesting, using offshore outsourcing for partner ops teams. She mentioned benefits like getting comprehensive training materials developed, maybe having 24/7 support, things that can boost revenue and operations.
That's an interesting angle on tackling those operational hurdles. And talking about practical tools, Wayne Thompson made a really strong case for using video and enablement. His point was that video often feels more genuine, more personal than email. It can simplify complex products, cut down friction in training, and even give you performance data back. He mentioned platforms like Video Marketing Center specifically for this.
Which brings up a really key question. How do you make sure partners actually use this stuff? They're busy, right? Mitchell Barker observed vendors getting frustrated with slow adoption. But he argues it's usually not about motivation, it's about the partner's own operational reality. They need time to align their own teams, upskill people, figure out their messaging. Vendors who get that who reduce that friction. They just see faster results.
Makes total sense. Make it easy for them. Jasper Lunio echoed this too. He said, channel is not a department, it's a mindset. And I loved his one login promise idea. Basically, hide the complexity, don't make partners juggle 5 different portals. Trust, he says, starts right here.
At the sign-in screen. Yeah, that's powerful.
It really is.
And Tatiana Ruggiero kind of built on that, saying, who does channel? Everyone. Her point is that success needs everyone bought in sales, legal, finance, everyone engaging partners well. That's how you deliver real value collectively.
And looking forward, Abhishek Thakur shared some great stuff from HPE's Partner Growth Summit. They unveiled a new unified partner program, big focus on partner profit, a modular build, sell, service structure, tighter incentive alignment. But what really jumped out was their heavy investment in AI for enablement, AI modules, a new AI developer system. It's clear that future-proofing means integrated AI-driven enablement.
Okay, so tech and enablement handle the how. But what about the why and the who? Let's talk broader ecosystem strategy and growth. How are companies thinking about partnership strategy overall?
Yeah, that's our next big theme. And it's clear the focus is shifting, moving beyond simple, maybe one-off partnerships towards orchestrating whole ecosystems. A really strong recurring theme was that value-led partnerships beat budget-heavy ones every time. Mark Salter put it so simply. Big budgets don't win partners. Being valuable does. Help more, bitch less. It's about mutual goals, being adaptable.
That really rings true. And Brian Williams highlighted what he sees as a fundamental shift in go-to-market itself. He argues that real growth today isn't just pushing to the market or pulling it in. It's about partnering with the market. Because buyers, well, they trust people and communities way more than they trust brands these days.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And it connects directly to the ROI beyond just closing a deal, right?
Yeah.
Will Taylor shared some really compelling data points. He said partnerships today are where marketing was maybe 10 years ago strategically. He had 5 data-backed lessons like attribution shouldn't be single touch, and community, dark social, it really works. He cited, 72% of B2B buyers trust peer recommendations most.
Wow, 72%.
Yeah. I mean, that stat alone changes how you have to think about GPM, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It shows partners aren't just resellers, they're often the most trusted voice. Ignoring their community influence, that's leaving serious growth untapped. Dark social is maybe where the real light is for channel strategy now.
That's a critical insight. So if partnerships are that strategic, what actually makes one strategic? Nassim Najm laid out some core principles. It has to be win-win, obviously.
Right.
Built on trust, leverages complementary strengths, thinking long-term, and being adaptable. Pretty fundamental stuff, but crucial.
But here's the tough part. Kelly Sarabin and Asher Matthew pointed out a, frankly, sobering statistic. 70% of partnerships fail within 2 years. 70%.
Oh.
Yeah. And their insight, drawing on Richard Ezekiel's work, is fascinating. They say the failure usually isn't the idea. The joint value prop is often fine. It's the lack of operational structure. Partnerships aren't just deals, they argue. They're systems. They need frameworks, like something they call the partnership T. Think broad market reach plus deep operational integration and a virtual company mindset.
That 70% number is stark, but the operational insight is really actionable. It tells you where to focus. And it brings us back to trust, doesn't it? Sandra Kahn had that great Captain Underpants story. Can you give us the quick version? It really illustrated this.
Absolutely. It's a good one. Basically, a partner was facing a major commission issue, a real crisis for them. Instead of hiding behind policy, Sandra stepped up, really went to bat for them, fought the internal battles, played Captain Underpants, as she put it, to get it sorted and make sure they got paid fairly. That single act, showing up like that when it mattered, built enormous, lasting trust. It proved she was really in their corner.
That's trust in action right there. And Volodymyr Samoilenko highlighted, especially for partnerships in Latin America, that trust requires absolute clarity upfront. Transparency on pricing, margin splits, making sure the operations fit. You need control before you try to scale massively.
So pulling this together, what does a great partner actually look like in these complex ecosystems? Nelson Wang gave a good list. 5 characteristics stood out: being super clear on what they do best, intensely customer-focused, building solutions around outcomes, and just being consistent and reliable.
Okay, that leads us naturally into a more tactical but super important theme, platform policy and monetization. This covers everything from updates in the big marketplaces like Microsoft's to debates around creator rights. It's the rules of engagement, essentially.
Right. And Microsoft was definitely a hot topic. George T. shared that their new 3-year CSP terms are a pretty big deal for partners. Offers longer-term stability, pricing clarity. He called it a revenue model transformation. It's especially, he noted, since something like 70% of Microsoft's incentives are now aimed at SMB deals. That's a major factor for partners to build strategies around.
It absolutely is, but it's not always straightforward. Rob Fagan pointed out that a lot of Microsoft partners have a messaging problem in their partner center profiles. They use buzzwords or they talk about the end customer, but not clearly about how they help the Microsoft seller, and that lack of clarity. He argues it's costing them visibility, costing them deals.
That's such a specific but critical detail.
Yeah.
Easy to miss. And Yusuf Ali added that partners can actually tweak the settings in Partner Center, customize what info Microsoft sends them. So you can turn your inbox from, a black hole into more of a growth engine by controlling those preferences, taking charge of the info flow.
And stepping back from just Microsoft, Humphrey Bowles gave a really useful framework: how to tell host-friendly platforms from potentially exploitative ones. He listed clear red flags to watch out for. Things like, can you access your customer data easily? Are there unexplained algorithm changes? Is commission creeping up? Versus green flags: transparent pricing, support that actually responds, platforms encouraging direct customer relationships. It boils down to, does the platform profit by helping you succeed, or from extracting value regardless? That distinction is crucial.
That's a really sharp way to evaluate platforms you depend on.
Yeah.
And shifting gears slightly, on the creator side, Dedipiaman Shukla and Umang Sheth were discussing YouTube's monetization updates. YouTube now requires creators to add meaningful value. They're cracking down on things like low-effort compilations or just using AI voiceovers without real commentary. It sparked quite a debate about platform governance, equitable growth.
Yeah, it definitely highlights that balancing act platforms face between quality, originality, and scale, and the impact on everyone using them. Also on the platform front, Brian Galicia shared that Microsoft Marketplace partners can now lock in pricing and terms for up to 5 years. That offers some serious long-term predictability, good for building sustained value and stronger customer relationships.
And unsurprisingly, this brings us back to AI. It's been threaded through everything, but let's focus specifically on AI in channel marketing. It's clearly reshaping recruitment, enablement, ops, everything.
Absolutely. It's our 5th theme, but honestly, it could be woven into all the others. Stephanie North, for example, highlighted how AI and data-driven targeting are just completely revamping partner recruitment, helping find those high-fit partners way more efficiently, cutting through all the noise. She presented it as a framework that global tech leaders are actually using now to build smarter, more scalable ecosystems.
And Manisha Chaudhry's point earlier about AI and PRM platforms, the predictive insights, content recommendations, automation that really hits home the operational impact of AI.
Yeah.
Sounds like a genuine competitive edge if you leverage it right.
Then Peter Erickson introduced a really fascinating, maybe slightly futuristic concept: model coordination protocols, or MCPs. He's calling them the API of the AI era. Think of it like this. MCPs would be the standard way for AI systems across different companies to talk to each other, coordinate actions, share insights in real time, making different AI models interoperable. He sees it as a potential reset for ecosystem partnerships.
Wow, okay. That definitely connects AI right back to that bigger ecosystem strategy.
Yeah.
And it's not just theory, is it? We're seeing it discussed practically. Events like the Microsoft Marketplace sessions, the BizApp Summit Sam Bush mentioned attending, and AI is top of the agenda for H2 strategy everywhere. Roman Kirsanov also noted Jay McBain's view. McBain thinks agentic AI that can act proactively and autonomously, is the single biggest growth opportunity for partners in the next, say, 3-5 years. Yeah. He basically said enterprise AI deployments are becoming pure ecosystem plays.
Which fundamentally changes the partner role, doesn't it? From just selling a product to orchestrating these complex AI solutions. And the early movers seem to be getting value already. Steve Richards shared an AI-powered partner maturity assessment tool. Scott Shaw created it, apparently, and it immediately shows where the gaps are, where the opportunities lie, helping align sales, channel, marketing, making AI practical right now.
Okay, brings us to our final theme, and it's a crucial one: performance and attribution. How do we actually measure success and attribute value fairly in these complex partnerships? The sources definitely suggest we're moving away from old models.
Yeah, and Annabelle Gray tackled this head on. She said attribution isn't broken, it's just often not honest. She identified a real trust problem in many programs. Affiliates grabbing credit they didn't earn, fraud being ignored, her fix. Build incrementality into your strategy from the start. Tighten up validation rules. Ask that tough question. If this partner vanished, what revenue would we genuinely lose?
That question really cuts to the chase, doesn't it? What's the true impact? It shifts focus from just any touch point to the driving touch point. Alex Richards added to this, saying early-stage KPIs are often more predictive. Things like activation rates, co-sell engagement levels. Tracking those early tells you more about long-term potential than just waiting for lagging revenue figures. It lets you adjust course faster.
And this loops right back to operations again. Sugata Sanyal defined partner ops as basically the RevOps of the partner world. He was pretty blunt. Most programs fail because they rely on hope instead of operational rigor. He, along with others like Jason Glass, Rachel Travis, Justin Zimmerman, Rachel Colley, they all stressed mapping ops to the partner lifecycle stages first, designing data flows before buying tech. Get the process right.
That makes perfect sense. Build the foundation before you try to build the skyscraper, right? Mike J. Midgley and Antonio Caridad were emphatic. 2025 needs to be the year companies invest seriously in partner ops. Because trying to scale partnerships without that operational backbone, it's just incredibly hard, maybe impossible. They see it as absolutely critical GTM infrastructure now.
And connecting that to efficiency, Greg Portnoy shared a really eye-opening stat. The average partner manager wastes something like 1,250 hours a year on manual tasks. Oh. Yeah, think about that. That's time completely lost that could be spent building relationships, closing deals. He strongly advocated using AI tools, automation strategies, turn those wasted hours into actual revenue growth.
It really ties everything together, doesn't it? Technology, smart enablement, a clear strategy, honest measurement. They all need that operational rigor, that partner ops foundation to actually scale effectively. It means focusing on the right early signals, demanding honest attribution, and building systems that free people up to focus on the relationships and the strategy, not the admin. Well, that wraps up our deep dive for this period. If you enjoyed this, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. Do check out our other editions covering account-based marketing, field marketing, AI and B2B marketing, MarTech go-to-market, and social selling. Thank you so much for joining us today, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive.